we have seen that the People's National Party on a momentum. And when I say on a momentum, it's a powerful movement that the People's National Party is moving. And just as we in the eve of a general election, I can say, people, that everything that Mark Golding has been doing, Mark Golding has been doing the right thing as it relates to house, going house to house, and I mean parish to parish, and he is getting the job done. We have many, right, members of parliament candidates who are going out there in the field, right, talking to the people one-on-one. And, you know, Mark Golding has set a precedence as it relates to, you know, his position, you know, relating to, you know, the government stand, because Mark Golding, right, is clearly stand on the side of good governance, right, checks and balance and transparency, right, from a government. And Mark Golding state that quite well. Now, I mean, we have not seen that from the incumbent government as it relates to checks and balance and transparency. We have seen now where this current government is even challenging, right, his own agency, right, which is the Integrity Commission, who is there to maintain checks and balance and transparency, right, within government contracts as it relates to procurement rules. And we are seeing that the government is going, you know, full force against them, right, and wanting also, right, that judicial review to move, right, as it relates to the Corruption Act, right, subsection 14, subsection 5 there, wanted to move illicit enrichment, right? And I mean, that is a policy that holds government accountable. So what is the government is saying? If the government want to go down that, I would say, devil corners, right, to move that policy, the government is saying that there should not be any checks and balance, right, as it relates to, you know, members of parliament regarding illicit enrichment. No, we can't have a government like that, right? That is what we call a banana republic, right? We just can't have a situation like that. But the Jamaican people, they are making it precisely clear. Now, I am going to get back in a little history as it relates to the excellent job that Mark Golding is doing. And also, let me say this, Mark Golding is now changing the voters' apathy. And that's a big news. That is saying that where you have voters, right, intention clearly is stating that they are coming out to vote, and 52% of that, right, as opposed to the local government election where you only have 30%, right, as it relates to, right, voters' apathy, where people were just, you know, staying away, right, from the polls because, you know, basically they're fed up, right, they're fed up. But Mark Golding, right, is doing all that he needs to do. And now Mark Golding is flipping that. Now we are seeing that people now are getting, I mean, quite intrigued, wanting to step out, wanting to vote, because they are saying that enough is enough with this government, with blatant corruption. And so then, without any delay, let us just go back to show you what was the voters' apathy. And now we are going to make the comparison again to show you what Mark Golding had done in terms of changing that voters' apathy as it relates to partially roughly about 22% added to that. That is amazing. That is excellent. So I am saying what I am looking on right now and the energy moving towards the People's National Party, no doubt, my Jamaican people, a landslide is coming, and a landslide is certain. And then there's no wonder why the Jamaican Labour Party, of course, they are getting panic right? The Prime Minister is promising God, he knows what, right? The Prime Minister is promising that he's going to make the moon, the moon land on Earth. I don't know what the Prime Minister is promising, but he's just rolling out all the promises. But guess what? The Jamaican people have enough. The Jamaican people said enough is enough. You promise that, of course, right, if the Jamaican people go with you, then, of course, you will make people sleep with their doors open. Obviously, I am asking Jamaican people, don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake and leave your door open, right? So this Prime Minister has failed us, right, in so many areas, right? Within his 100 days, all that he had promised, today, we witness nothing has been delivered. So my people, without any further delay, let me get into just to go back in history and show what the voters' apathy was like. And now, Mark Golden is changing all of that. Without any delay, honey, let us bring up that document. Right? The last one that I sent you. Okay, let us get into it and just show you the hard work that Mark Golden is doing, the hard work several MPs doing, and I tell you, I have a member of Parliament in St. James, Alan Bernard. I tell you, Alan Bernard is doing a lot of work in his constituency. You know, I mean, house to house, meeting the people, greeting the people, right, and just, you know, walking along with the people. So Alan Bernard, anyway, there, big up my boss. You're doing quite a wonderful job. And yes, we want to make sure that you definitely find yourself in Parliament. Why they don't vote, and this was April 7, 2024. And here we are in October. Mark Jefferson Golden is changing the voters' apathy, my people. Now, let us read the April 7, 2024, that anonymous poll unveils reason for apathy. So let us get into that, right? And deal with that and show you, right, the wonderful work that Mark Golden has been doing, right? Now, Montego Bay, St. James, they believe that corruption is rife among political parties surfaced as the #1 reason the majority of voters continue to stay away from the national elections, according to a survey conducted by noted pollster Dan Anderson for the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. And remember, this perception stretch across the length and breadth of Jamaica, where, you know, people are saying, as it relates to the level of corruption, right? Corruption is so rife, right? People are just tired of the plain corruption as it relates to the Jamaica Labour Party administration. The poll results were shared by ECJ Chairman Earl Jarrett in an address to the 153rd Synod of the Anglican Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands in Montego Bay last week. Jarrett told the Synod that respondents included voters and non-voters, with each indicating their reason for not participating in national elections. Among the other reasons offered by respondents were no difference between parties, right? And clear now, people are seeing the difference between the parties now. Non-performing effectively, right? No confidence in them. Our parties make too many unfulfilled promises because, you know, people face, as it relates to Andrew Holness, get into in power, right? And all what he had promised as it relates to his first 100 days, I mean, the entire Jamaica witnessed that not one being delivered. Referencing voter turnout trends since 1962, the ECJ said 1962 to 1980. Figures reveal an average of 81.5%, right, turnout for elections. So there you see, my people, that in 1962 to 1980, right, the percentage in terms of voters turnout was 81.5%, right? Now, the years 1989 to 2020, however, average of 56%, with a high in 1989 of 78% and a low of 38% in 2020. So then what, caused that significant change? You can see as it relates to, the Andrew Holness administration. You understand, a lot of people are just fed up because I think people were expecting that Andrew Holness, you understand, was going to be new and different, and the way how he articulated himself, being young and vibrant, and people said, okay, all right, the way how he sound, he sound confident, and trust me, people just buy into Andrew Holness' lies, and that, people now just feel fed up. So you see the change between 1989 to 2020, right? Where that is. Registered voters moved from 796,540 in 1962 to 1,913,410 in 2020. Those who voted increased from 508, and if you notice in 2020, right, you see that 1962 to 1,913,410 in 2020, right? The amount of people, right, who jump on the train, right? Those who voted increased from 580,517 in 1962 to 714,808 in 2020. So you see that there was an increase there, right, in 2020. So let us ask ourselves a question. What happened between 2020 and, today, as we speak? Now we know that voters' apathy now increased as it relates to the local government election. So let us read. Voters' apathy has been a concern for some time, and fears about the threat it poses to the country's democracy started to increase even more after only 30% of registered voters cast ballots in the 2016 local government election. The turnout then dropped significantly to 29.6% in the February 26, 2024 local government election. So there you have it, people. Let us take away that document, right? So when we look at our local government election, right, and we had seen that the voters' turnout was only 29.6%. Now this gives serious cause to our democracy, right? Why people are turning away from the polls, right, as it relates to what they are experiencing. And the main thing, right, as we read there, the main thing is corruption. Corruption is extremely too strife, right, amongst politicians, right? And so then that is an extreme concern. But now I am going to show you a document as it relates to recent Dan Anderson poll, right? That Mark Golding, just as what I am saying, that Mark Golding now get into the mix. And Mark Golding is now changing the voters' apathy right now. So then Mark Golding is moving strong, and what we are now looking on is definitely a landslide that is going to face, right, the Jamaica Labour Party administration. Let us look on the other document to show you the amount of work that Mark Golding had done, right, to really penetrate voters' apathy, right, and change that, right, where it's now looking that, of course, Mark Golding is now calling out people who are once staying away from the poll. The people are coming out now, and they are really serious because they are saying enough is enough. Let us look on the next document just to verify and clarify Mark Golding performance. The People's National Party is moving in a very strong way. So let us show the difference here. What we are seeing, right, in terms of hard work being carried out by Mark Golding and, of course, right, other candidate members, right? So people look at this, right? Now, when we look here, right? John Pollock, this means voting out of the government. People want a change. People are fed up with the government telling them things are better and they're not experiencing it. Rampant corruption by government, lack of genuine opportunities, and the runaway crime rate. And there it is, people, 52% of Jamaicans expected to vote in the next election. And this was done by, of course, none other than Dan Anderson. And this poll was conducted between September 27 and October 3rd, 2024. Take that away, honey, and let us talk to the people then, right? So that the people then see, right, as it relates to the great work being carried out, right? Where Mark Golding is just penetrating, right, in terms of that, reducing voters' apathy, right? And there it is, clear, right? Where Mark Golding is now taking it from 29.6% in the local government election. Here today, what we have, a whopping 52% turning out. And let me say this, my Jamaican people, between now, right, and the election to call, Mark Golding is going to further reduce that voters' apathy. More people are going to come out because, of course, and let me say this before that situation happened. Now, let me tell you something, people. After November 7, when the court, right, kicked out Andrew Holness's judiciary review, you are going to see voters' apathy turn way up. Way up. That is a problem. So what we are looking on, people, I am telling you, Andrew Holness. Now, you have to understand why Andrew Holness is getting panicked, right? You have to understand why the entire Jamaica Labour Party are panicking, right? Because they see the hammer, right, is blazing. And guess what? Mark Golding is beating the hammer till it bend. You understand? As me say that, big up yourself, Mr. Lonesome. Anyway, you're there. All right. So let me say this. Voters' apathy. Mark Golding is changing that. The People's National Party is changing that. And because of what, right, the People's National Party stand for? Checks and balance and transparency and good governance, right? So big up Mark Golding. Let us look to show you the penetration, right? So let us get into some of the polls and show you what is happening. People, do you remember, right? I mean, I would say might be a couple months to a year ago, when it comes to favorability, that Andrew Holness was leading Mark Golding like some 40 to 50%. But people, amazing. Mark Golding has been trailing behind, and know what we have seen. The coin has flipped. Mark Golding is now ahead. So I am showing you, you understand, from all areas where Mark Golding is just penetrating the PNP. Remember, people, when Mark Golding came out with the slogan, said, time come, right? A lot of people, bash it and said, oh, he needs to say more, he needs to do more. What are they saying now? What are they saying now? People, I want you to put into the chat. Time come. Please, people, give me some energy, man. Put in the chat, man. Time come. We want to see, because trust me, people, I am telling you, time come. Let us get into the poll. Time
people realize that Mark Golding is a man of action and few words.
Exactly.
He doesn't go out there make a lot of noise. He just works behind the scene and get things done. Because empty barrels make the most noise.
Yes. Let us take up this to the people, to show the people, right, that no, Mark Golding is very serious. No joke about it. Right? The People's National Party is turning the coin in their favor. right? No doubt about that, right? Jamaican people, right, need that representation that they are not getting.
I know there are 4 different.
Yes.
I'm going to do them on that one.
All right, so let us show the first clip in terms of what, as I said, Mark Golding, the PNP is doing. This is it, Jamaican people. What of the favorability of the two leaders? Favorable, good opinion. Now, let us look at this. Andrew Holness, right, as it relates to favorable, right, is 32.5, right? But look at Mark Golding. Mark Golding had changed this, right, over a short period of time, right, where Andrew Holness at one point was leading more than 10%. More than 10%. And, you know, amazingly, to know that here is now Mark Golding, right, is actually leading by 3.5% in the margin of error. This is an excellent performance. Trust me, and I tell you, the longer Andrew Holness stay to call the general election, I am telling you, he's going to lose grounds. No two-way about that. People, I want you to see that. There it is for yourself. Favorable, good opinion, right? Where Andrew Holness was once leading by more than 10%, right? Reduce. Andrew Holness now 32.5% and Mark Golding 36.5%, at 3.5% advance, and now Mark Golding is leading in that. So what the majority of Jamaicans are saying, they are more favorable with Mark Golding. Let us show the next clip, honey. Let us get in there and bite into all of this, because trust me, people, this is so important for us to understand what is taking place here, right? Now, look at this, people. Now, this is really serious. When I said this is really serious. Now, what of the favorability of the two leaders? Now, when we look on the unfavorability, right? Now, let us look, right? Andrew Holness, 39.9% of Jamaican people, right? As it relates to the unfavorability. Now, and Mark Golding, 25.8%, a 4.1%, more than 14.1%, 14.1% as it relates to going for Mark Jefferson Golding. People, trust me, we can't make up this. We can't make up this. Andrew Holness is imploding in the poll. Take it away and let us go to the next poll and let us dig into that. My, I am telling you, people, I am telling you that we might see a landslide that we have never seen or witnessed before in Jamaica. Right? And so then, I mean, I only can say to the Jamaica Labour Party that they need to just brace, because this look like more than this is after the scale on it. This seems like it is more than category 5. Cannot be measured, right? Now, using a score of 1 to 5, where 1 is a very low score and 5 is a very high score, how would you rate the performance of the current leaders of the two main parties? Mark Golding, very good, 4.7%. Poor, 10.9%. Average, 42%. Good, 17.2%. Very good, 15.2%. Let us get to the incumbent leader where that is concerned. Let us get to the incumbent leader when we talk about, corruption, right, is hitting this Jamaica Labour Party administration. Look at this now here, people. This is, of course, the incumbent, Andrew Holness. Very poor, Look at these people, 25.2%. Poor, 15.9%. Average, 30.7%. Good, 14.5%. Very good, 13.8%. This is an embarrassment. Very good, 13.8% is an extremely embarrassment. Based on these poll findings, people, we can say that the Jamaican people, Andrew Honest, right, honey? They're totally done with him. Now them said, they were saying, you know, so when Jamaica done with you, yes, take it away, honey. They were saying that when Jamaica done with you, you know, then Jamaica done with you, you know.